everyone, this is Carolyn Muncie from Ransomed Relics. I haven't been on for a while, have I? As most of you know, or some of you know, and some of you may not, I moved from Ohio to Oklahoma. And when I moved, it was about 3 months for me to get ready to move, because when you lived in a place for 31 years, you know what that's like, right? I mean, you can't get everything. Let me turn this light off because it's really reflecting. And if it's too dark, you guys tell me and I can turn it back on. As you come on, let me know where you're from. And we have got something really fun tonight. But as I said, I started packing, moving, all that kind of stuff. We get here and we officially moved in January 1. And then my daughter had seizures, and I rushed her to the hospital. Didn't even know where I was going, you guys. It was the middle of the night. Didn't know where I was going. I just loaded her up in the car and took off toward Tulsa. And we got there and found out she had a brain tumor. So that was very traumatic, but we got through it, and she's doing awesome. And some of you prayed for her, and I want to say thank you so much. It was really a miracle that she made it. It was a pretty huge tumor, and they were able to remove it. So, you know, then taking care of her. So guess what? Now I'm back on. I'm doing lives and I'm painting. I don't know if any of you have caught my lives, but all that creative juices have been stashed away for about 5 months. And so now I'm off and running. So those of you who are coming on, I see we're getting some on. Why don't you tell me where you're from? Tell me who's on, because I can't see. So were you able to find it, baby?
Yeah, but you're live on your page.
What? I'm live on my page?
That's what it says.
How could I be live on my page?
Ransomed Relics is live now.
It might just
And okay.
Okay. No, so it should
But
be in Prima. Okay.
But I don't see it on there. I don't see it on Prima's.
Oh, well. Anyhow, technical difficulties.
I got
Hey, you guys, so look, here's what we've got going right now. If you want to come over here and switch this around, honey, you can, so you could see what's going on.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to be, hi, Judy. How are you? So look what we've got, you guys. We've got a well, I'm not going to say it's a 1920s, but it is kind of that Art Deco Armoire. Isn't that cool? And as you know, Prima has a lot. And I'm going to get this. I have to take it up to bring it down. I keep saying I'm going to order another one, and I will, I promise. So I've done a little bit of work because I figured you guys want to see what I'm going to do with it, not so much the color of paint I'm going to use, right? So I've painted it black. I love the details on here. Let me get you guys up so you can see the details on this piece. I love the detail. Isn't that pretty? You've got that, it wraps all the way around. Let me show you. See, it wraps all the way around, and it does it top and it does it bottom. So I'm going to bring you way back here so that you guys can see what I'm doing, because we are going to be using Prima's Impasto paints, and they are awesome. The thing about, and now here it goes down again. That stupid thing. I'm so sorry. Bethany, make me order one tomorrow, please.
Okay.
So,
Well, it was in a good spot. It wasn't down too far.
oh, it wasn't on mine. It looks like it was down too far, but now it looks crooked.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go, which is out of my comfort zone, let's put it that way. I always tell my students you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and so that's what I'm doing live. So that's pretty crazy. So anyway, I want to take this and I want to stay with the idea of Art Deco. And if any of you have ever looked up any pictures of Art Deco, it's like around about the 1920s. Is it the 1930s too? 20s, 30s, somewhere around there. And, you know, it's just a lot of flappers and boas and pearls and, you know, who knows what we'll get into. But anyhow, we are going to start, and I've got impasto paints here. And I always do them up. This is just an ice tray. And I do them up in an ice tray because I have all my colors right there. And I can make them work. So the first thing that I think I want to do is I've got this painted black, as you can see. And I kind of have a reference picture that I'm kind of going off of, and I'm trying to figure out kind of what I want to make this. I want to show you though, let me show you a couple of the impasto colors, you guys. Let me find this, and let me find a brush. I'm just going to brush into them so you can see how vivid the colors are, which I think is going to go beautiful with an Art Deco theme.
Lisa Casey's watching from Ohio.
Hey,
Marissa
Donna.
is watching from Ontario, Canada.
Cool.
We've got Deb Oliver online as well.
Awesome. So look, this is the magenta. Look how pretty. Look at that pretty color. And the thing that I like about the impasto paints is that they're thick bodied. And I love that because I can always thin something down. This is Cobalt. And if some of you have not tried their impasto paints, you should, because, let me get this washed out, because I want to show you a little bit of the colors, because those of you who have never seen them, they're very pigmented. I mean, like, very pigmented. So I want to give you a pure color so it's not, as we know, if it's wet, it's going to mix, right? So we've got some really pretty colors in pastel paints, and I'll show them to you in just a minute because I just wanted to get them on here so you can see the vividness of how pretty the colors are. All right, so look at the vividness of those colors. Aren't those pretty? If you're a painter and you've never tried them, you ought to try them. There's another thing too that they have, and we're going to use these too, and these are the metallic accents, and you've got several lines. I mean, you've got this, look at that pretty blue. I'm definitely using this one, and I'm definitely using this one. This one is called Rose Gold, and this one is called Glacier Blue. I definitely will use both of those. And I'll show you how you can layer paints, and you can make something really cool as you layer. So if you've got any questions, you guys make sure you let me know. And I'm trying to figure out what color I want to do my circle, because if you know Art Deco, they always had, you know, a lot of the silhouettes were those with color and or maybe even just black. This one is black, but since I painted this black, I don't think I should do that black. So I'm thinking I don't want to go with white, but they have got a beautiful color called ivory. And you know what? Wait a minute, it's not called ivory, it's right here. It's called linen, and it's a really, really pretty, soft off-white. And on my design, I'm going to do just kind of a circle. And you say, well, Carolyn, you know, how are you going to get just a perfectly round circle? I don't have to. It doesn't matter. As long as I get my circle fairly round where I want it, then as I go, I can improve that. You know, the thing about, you guys, the thing about when you hand paint, it's scary because you think, oh my goodness, what if I mess up? But this is what I tell everyone, it's just paint. It is just paint. And so we are going to do a little circle here. And this is going to have quite a bit of molds on it. So my molds are going to take up for anything that's lacking in my circle. If it's not exactly right, it doesn't matter because my molds are pretty much going to show me, and I'm just kind of going to real lightly get in where I want my circle just so I can kind of follow the lines here. Now I haven't drawn anything on this, so you guys, if I mess up tonight, oh well. It's just paint. And you know what? I can come back and I can fix it. And that's the beautiful thing about being able to paint. Some of you can really paint, but you're afraid to because you're saying, well, it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, because as we go, we get better. And we are going to do a fun design, I think. And it's going to be glitzy and glamorous. And I'm excited about that. Get a little bit of glitz and glamour going on. Huh? Because that's what Art Deco was. That whole era was very glitzy. So let's say we get this on here, and as I achieve my other colors, or as I start working on my other emblems in this piece, let's say I don't like the white. It can always be changed. Well, the ivory. Let's say I don't like it. No big deal. I can change it, and that's the beauty. That is the beauty of paint. We're going to use a lot of molds on this baby. And why? Because Prima has so many molds, you guys, that we can use. And I love them. I love the transfers. We're going to probably be using some transfers. But the big majority of this is going to be hand painted, I would say. But you never know about that either. I just might get in here and get slap happy. Now we are going to be live all week this week, you guys, at this exact time. And I hope, here I am, talking with, it's almost like a cigar, talking in my mouth. I'm watering down this paint. Like I said, Prima, these impasto paints are very heavy bodied paints. And so, if you're doing a large surface, I'm going to water them down just a tad. I may not want this just to be solid. I may want a little bit of that black, maybe just to kind of come through in places. That might look kind of nice, wouldn't it? So what have you guys been up to today? It has been beautiful here in Oklahoma. You know, moving to a new state, you never kind of know what it's going to be like, do you? And so I've lived the same place for 30 some years. I'm going to show you this paint though. This is where it's not mixed. Look at it. Isn't that fun? I mean, it's heavy bodied. And when you're doing a picture, I love that when I'm doing a picture. I love the heavy bodied acrylics and this impasto paint because it is so heavy bodied. There, that's moving real good. So, I guess I could have done the circle without you guys watching, but because we're going to get into some fun stuff. I think
Tiffany Clemens said that she didn't realize you were in Oklahoma. She's in Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Not far.
Tiffany, we're not far. I'm in Bartlesville. So do you know where Bartlesville is? That's where we're at. So we're like, I don't know, 15 miles from the Kansas border. So we're not in Tulsa, actually.
Mary Patricia says, hi, Carolyn.
Hey, Mary. How are you, honey? Bethany's helping me because I knew with this design it would be very hard for me to read your guys' comments and keep
She
paying
said,
attention.
yes, she does know where Bartlesville is.
Oh, do you? How far are you from there? Is that Tiffany?
Yeah.
How far are you from there, Tiffany? We might have to meet for lunch. You know, it's strange when you've lived in a place your whole life and then you move someplace else. I mean, it was strange, you guys, coming in here. I don't know a soul. And one of the reasons why I moved here was, number one, my husband...
She's only 2 hours from here.
Oh, that's not bad. We can meet an hour each way. Wouldn't that be fun? And any of the other gals that are close to me,
She said that would be awesome.
that would be fun. I love stuff like that. Now I gotta keep, this is heavy bodied, you guys, and so I keep spraying it because I want it to move just a little more. But I would rather it be a little thick than I would be for it to be too thin, because then that creates more problems than you want. So anyway, but what I was saying was, when you move into a new community, I mean, you guys, I didn't even know, when she got sick, I didn't even know how to get to the hospital. I mean, I knew I had to take her to the one in Tulsa. I didn't even know what hospital to take her to in Tulsa. Whereas, you know, when you're in a place you're familiar with, you just load up and you know where to go and all that kind of stuff. But when you come into a new community, it really is a change, isn't it? And you really have to, but we love it here. We really love it here. It just kind of getting to feel more like home every single day. All right. So since we're going to be painting this pretty fast, I'm probably going to have to use a blow dryer to let some of this dry up so we can paint over it. Not really that concerned about the coverage, you know, because I'm not so sure at this state and at this point that it might not look cool to have some of this black just peeking through. Because now what we're going to do here, you guys, is we're going to put a mold all the way around this circle except where Our Lady is. And we're going to be doing a beautiful 1920s lady that she's really, really pretty. You know, they used to wear dresses all the time. We've gotten to the point where we very seldom put a dress on, do we? But they just look so elegant and so pretty. And, you know, they always, you know, kind of like Leave It to Beaver, they always kind of were just kind of dressed, weren't they? I mean, I'm in my sweats and paint clothes 90% of the time. Alrighty, that's getting us. I like that. I don't want it so...
Tiffany said, so glad both of you are doing good. And Deb Oliver said, so happy you are settling into your new home.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be doing, you guys, those of you who haven't liked my Ransomed Relics page, it's Ransomed Relics. We're taking relics that people are wanting to throw away, and we're ransoming them, right? So that's kind of how my daughter came up with that name. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things that, so if you haven't liked my page, you guys, go ahead and like my page. And you can stay abreast of everything I'm doing. I'm going to, in my dining room, I'm going to be doing the whole dining room as a mural. And I cannot wait to start that. So, you know, when you haven't painted for a while, and then all of a sudden you get a chance to, it's kind of like, oh man, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm in a new house, so I've got to make this house mine, right? Not only that, it showcases what I can do. So people can come in and I can bring them into the dining room and go, well, here we go. What do you want, right? So it's really fun. I love to paint, if I haven't told you that yet. Or if you haven't seen that yet. Those of you who, some of you are in my class. And of course I can't see anything because I'm painting, right? Okay, so we've got that there. Bethany, honey, would you rinse that out for me real quick? And you know the neat thing about my new home is that I have this room, and it's probably maybe about a 16 by, I'm gonna say 14. And it's just this room that I can have all of my, not all of my supplies, my real office really is in the garage, you know, and but I can have all my painting stuff, and it can, you know, kind of be not so cluttery, and I don't know about you guys, but that drives me nuts. Okay, so we've got that done. So let's turn this on. Let's get this dry. A lot of times I paint, thank you, honey. I paint wet on wet, and if I'm doing like landscapes and stuff like that, I will do wet on wet, and so I don't have to dry in between. But I think I do want this a little bit dry. Are you guys excited about the new Prima products coming out? There's some beauties, you guys. I mean, there is some really, really beautiful pieces that you're going to want to get, guarantee you, once you see what the ambassadors have done and the content creators have done. You are going to want to get involved, that's for sure. All right. So maybe what we'll do, because that's not drying quite as fast as I would like, and the reason being is because it is thicker bodied paint. So this is not a moon, I promise you, or it's not going to be a sun. It's just, start looking tonight for our week together. Start looking at Art Deco things, and you'll see that Art Deco is just, it's just really cool. It's really, really vintagey, very vintagey, of course, and it's really cool. So I'm going to put the camera down, but because that's going to take a little while to dry. And you guys, we've only got 4 days, 4 hours to get this done. So I would say I probably won't be able to do every single element that I do live, because there's so much intricacy in this armoire. Okay, so I've kind of got you down, and I'm going to bring you in a little bit, and I'm going to do, you went crazy on me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, since that, we can start that, the silhouette tomorrow, since that's drying. So I'll get down here, and let's work on some background. We've got a lot to cover and a lot to do, so I do not want to waste the time. Okay, so I just got these in the mail. These are Prima brushes, and they are fabulous. I'm very picky about my brushes, and if you could feel these, they're a little not too stiff, but they're just right. And sometimes they can be too soft, but these, and look at the point. Look at the point on these. I mean, that's awesome to do detail with. That is awesome. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to lay in, let me get you down here. I'm going to lay in a little bit of greenery back here. And the greenery is going to go around the corner. And I always, you guys, normally try to mist my piece as I go around. Get some more paint on there. And these are just going to kind of be a little bit of bushes. I don't know if anyone saw my painting. Did any of you see the painting that I just did? It's on my page. You should go check it out. If you didn't see it, it was really fun. Very, very fun to do. And so we're just going to give this just a little bit of highlights. You know, I don't want it to look, you know, Art Deco is not real defined.
Almost an Asian twist to it.
Yeah, it really does. Art Deco really does almost kind of have like a little bit of an Asian twist to it. That's good, Bethany. But we want to just kind of give our little bushes just a little bit. I'm probably going to come in with a little bit of black here so we can see a definition there. Work that up a little bit. I am a self-taught artist. I believe that every single person can paint. I believe every single person can paint, you guys. I don't believe that it's just, I believe you can paint. You've painted some really, you've painted some beautiful things. You just aren't allowed to paint like bedrooms or anything like that because it goes all over. I'm going to dip into a little bit of white here. We're going to add a little bit of white, and we'll just blend that in a little bit. And we'll probably do that on both sides. This is just going to be like little bushes that are not even formed really. Let's put a little thing like that, and we'll come over this door. When I'm working on a piece that's a piece of furniture, I pay attention to where
Lisa
my
said
doors
that blows
is.
my mind that you're self-taught.
Oh, really? You see, that's what I'm saying. If you love it, anyone can do it. I'm just telling you, it's not so much talent as it is just allowing yourself to not fear to try. Because I can tell you, when I first started, I sure wasn't very good. But then as you practice and you keep going, then things kind of change.
Well, show them my picture that you did, what, 10 years ago?
11 years ago, I think. You want to get it?
Yeah.
You can get it.
Susie Blair's online.
Hey, Susie. How are you, sweetie? Hey, if you get my dog food, she's the lady that bought my house, you guys. So if you get my dog food, save it for me. I'm going to be through May 1st, and I'll come to the house and pick up some of my stuff. She's awesome, you guys. She was the best neighbor. We were neighbors for years. What, about 25 years, I think.
Where do you want me to
We weren't just neighbors, we were friends. So this was one that I did 11 years ago for Bethany. So you can see it's kind of a beachy scene, and it's got a house and everything.
But I tell her she was still good then.
Well, I see a lot of look at my clouds. They weren't very good, Pat. Look at that. See, I always tell my students, you know, everyone starts out doing clouds that way. But so, you know, but those houses are pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go back and repaint.
This is oil paint.
Over, yeah, this is oil. I'm going to go back and repaint over there and add some interest there. It's just kind of blah there. But I painted that for her for Christmas. Okay, baby. So anyway, back to the Art Deco, huh? So I love this right here, and I wanted to keep that because I felt like it really...
Susie said, I love that picture. Lisa said, that's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Casey said, beautiful. And Mary asked, are all the brushes in one pack?
They are. You get all of these brushes, you guys. And you get liner brushes are very hard to find. And you get 3 liner brushes. I love these liner brushes. And like I said, and then you've got one that's about that size, which maybe, honestly, I probably should switch to that so I could cover more space, huh?
And then Tiffany said, that's amazing. You always blow my mind.
Aw, thanks, sweetheart. I sure appreciate that. Now, this is going to look a little brassy right now, but as the paints dry, they have a tendency to tone just a little bit, so I'm not worried about that. And I normally don't worry too much about the edges. So if you guys don't mind, I wish I could paint this all online, but tomorrow night I will have all of this greenery done, however it's going to go. And I'll have that done, and I will have the silhouette of the woman done, and we will start on her tomorrow night. That's going to be fun. That's really going to be fun. I'm real excited about that. And then Wednesday night, we'll start working, if we can get the lady done tomorrow, which we may not be able to, then we will do, start working on our molds and putting those in, because those are going to be fun too. I tell you, you can take a piece and totally change it with Prima molds. I mean, you can take a plain piece, I mean a dirt plain piece, and you can change that into a beautiful ornate piece with Prima molds. Now, I prefer myself to use resin with my molds, just because I like that look, because they look pretty crisp. Now, if I'm doing an old world look, then I love Prima's molding clay. There's just so many ways you can do the mold. So I'm just gonna kind of freehand this on here. We're gonna leave some negative space of that black kind of coming through, I think. And the beautiful thing, you guys, is that as you paint, you learn things that just kind of how you do it your way. And you learn how to improvise. I always say, you know, some of my best pieces are ones that I was just about ready to give up on because they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. I hate when paint don't do what I want it to do. And we might run into that. I mean, honestly, I'm not a portrait painter. I am not. I can do sceneries. I can do a lot of florals. I can do ocean waves. I can do all kinds of that kind of stuff. But to say that I'm prolific on painting a face, I am not. So you guys are going to see me mess up. But that's okay. That's part of painting. you keep working on it until you can say you love it. And that's the whole thing. And then you follow your instincts. The last painting that I did, I was done with the painting, and I thought it turned out probably one of my better paintings, and it's a landscape.
Mary said, I hate that too. LOL.
Yeah, me too, Mary. We've
When
struggled.
the paint doesn't do what you want it to do.
I know, the nerve of that paint not to do what we want it to do.
And Lisa said, I love how it looks.
Good. Yeah, so this is just going to be kind of airy, not really. I think that needs to be a little freer. You know, and I think that's the one thing that I learned also with furniture painting is I learned to allow my pieces to take on the look that they wanted to have. And I know that sounds weird, but I cannot tell you how many times I started out one way and totally ended up with something I never dreamed of because I just would get ideas. But anyhow, on this last painting that I was working on, I was done with it. I was ready to say I was done. And then there was this one little place, and I thought, ooh, there needs to be an animal there. And so I painted a little fawn, and you can't see her very good, but then once you see her, it's kind of like your eye goes right to her. And I called the painting Waiting on Mama. So that's why she
Deb
got that
says,
name.
I always tell my pieces, they are going to go in the burn pile if they don't behave.
There you go. Well, a lot of mine did. Because when we moved, I couldn't move it all. Susie can tell you. I had too much stuff, and it was the last minute, and you guys, I cried to put some of those pieces in the burn pile.
And Mary said,
cried.
yes, I loved the fawn surprise.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was fun. Okay, so this is kind of the idea. And you just kind of do see, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a circular motion here. This is the idea right here.
And Tiffany said, oh yes, I saw that and thought it was a duck. LOL.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't look real close, Tiffany. Well, you thought it was a duck. Someone else, one person thought it was a rabbit. You really have to look at her. You really do. You have to kind of zoom in on that area to see what she is. And then I don't think that was you, Tiffany, that doesn't have real good vision. And so it was very hard for her to see. And I forget what she called it. And it was just so cute. It was just really funny. And I said, hey, listen, that's okay, you know. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Okay, so you guys,
Tiffany said, that's because I'm blind.
Okay, so it was you, wasn't it, Tiffany? And you know what? That's okay. I thought it was adorable. Really, honestly, I did. I just got the cutest chuckle out of that. You know, I mean, I really did. I chuckled out loud. It did not offend me, not in one thing. I was just glad you was looking.
That was me.
I was just glad you were looking. Okay, so we kind of want to do a little bit of the same thing over here. It's not going to be the exact same thing. I don't know what happened here.
She said, thank you, I feel bad.
Oh no, I laughed. I thought it was wonderful. I did not get not even the least bit offended on that, because you know those sometimes online when you see a picture, unless you zoom way up on it, you're not going to see. It's just hard to see. Even if you've got good eyes, it's hard to see.
And Mary said that she loves your earrings.
Oh, thank you. I found some earrings. Can you guys believe that? I mean, we're still packed up. I've had so much going on. My sister got sick. I had to go to Ohio, take care of her. I wanted to go to Ohio. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to go take care of her. That's what sisters do, and we had a lovely time, and she's doing wonderful. And then, of course, I'm running Bethany back and forth to her rehab. She's doing wonderful, you guys. She really is. She's doing very wonderful, but she's not quite as strong as she was, so she's got to build up her core. And that's what they're working on, and they just can't believe she's doing as well as she is. So I'm going to be a little careful around my trim work here. And if I get a little on, I'm just going to take a rag and just get those tips on, because I do want it up to the trim. I don't want you to be able to see the trim when we're done. All right, so we're just gonna keep it going like this. And you say, well, Carolyn, that's really freehand. Yes, it is. And that's okay, because that's exactly how Art Deco is. But I want it to be a little similar to what the other side is, but I don't want it to be the same. You know, and we're gonna wrap this greenery around the sides. There's a hair in there. Okay. You guys, I'm excited to do some of these molds. I am not an Art Deco person. I mean, I like it. I value the beauty of that era.
Appreciate.
Yeah, appreciate. Thank you for that word. Mm-hmm. And you know, I appreciate it, but it's not. This is not in my favorites. Let's put it that way. But when I saw this piece, and I was going to go a totally different direction, but Bethany said, Mom, you've got to stay with the body of the piece. And I said, well, I think you're right. So thus, we're going to be doing something that I don't do very often. Or let's put it this way, I've never done it. So I'm either going to sink or swim right here with all of you. What do you think? But I think it'll look good.
I like those bushes.
You like it?
Floral, yeah.
And then when we put Our Lady on here, she's going to come into these bushes. But I always like to do my foreground first, so that, I don't like that right there. So I'll change it. I always like to do my foreground first, because I feel like I can more get, I like to layer as I paint, because you get more in depth, and I kind of want more black showing down through here, just like we did on that other side. It's not going to be totally covered.
Deb says, you crack me up. Your honesty is so refreshing. I love your sense of humor.
Well, you get what you see, whether you like it or not. That's the thing. You know, I'm just me, and I can't be anyone else. I'd love to be someone else sometimes. Wouldn't you love to be someone else sometimes? I'd love to be that put-together woman that's skinny, but I ain't skinny. So, but I'm working on it. So we're just working on here. All right, what time are we at, baby doll? 6:45. Okay, so we've kind of got that going on. I'm not done with that at all. You know, I'm going to, while this is wet, I am going to blend some more bushes in. Blend these down. A lot of these are going to actually be kind of hidden. But art, like I said, Art Deco isn't real defined.
Deb said that's exactly how I am. What you see and hear is what you get.
There you go. There you go, Deb. All right. So I will continue to blend those, like I said, around the sides. And I want to bring a little light into here so you can kind of see. Blend that around a little bit, blend that around a little bit. You can kind of see, you guys, I'm not honestly, now on my other paintings that I do, they're much more detailed. Those of you who've seen them, they are much more detailed. But each painting calls for something different. Okay, so we're gonna do one more thing.
Mary said, I love watching you paint.
Oh, thanks, Mary. We're gonna do one more thing just for a couple minutes. And I'm gonna bring you guys so you can kind of see. We've got this and we've got this up here. I'm gonna bring you guys back up so you can see kind of what we're gonna do here. Bring it out just a tad, and I'm just gonna do one side because that's probably all we will have time for. Is one side. Let's see, does that get us up there? That gets us up there. Okay, so the silhouette of my woman is going to go here all the way down. She's going to be probably round about.
I can't see you very well when it's cutting off your body.
Well, you don't
Cutting
need to
off
see
the
my
face.
body.
Cutting off the face.
Well, there we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, her silhouette is going to be from here all the way down. Okay, so here we are going to do some trim right here, some molds right here at the top. But I thought, and let me get my Pastel Paint, maybe. Let me see where it's at. It might be in the thing here. Let me find it real quick. Here it is. So I'm going to get a brown color. Maybe. Yeah. Let me get a brown color of the Impasto paint. I thought I had it, but I didn't. So let's go right there. Okay. And then now we are going to take, let me wash my brushes out. I tell my students always wash your brushes out immediately because it dries quickly. And these are brand new brushes and I want to take care of them. All right, so we are going to go in here and I'm going to double dip into brown and into that cream color, and I think brown. And we're going to come here, and this is something that was very prominent with the Art Deco, was that they love cherry blossoms. You'll see a lot of cherry blossoms with Art Deco. They loved it. And then I'm going to put shading on one side. And this is going to add pops of color.
Put it in a little bit so they can see it.
Okay. Pull it in just a bit.
Like pull it to that corner where you can see what we're doing.
Okay. So, what
Yeah,
time?
that's a lot better.
Okay. So we are going to put just a little bit of cherry blossoms. And that's going to come a little bit into this circle. Not a whole lot. I don't want it a whole lot in there, but, you know. Can you switch it for me, baby? And you can see by just adding a little bit of our green color in there, and you know what? I might want to add just, I'm sorry, you guys, that stupid thing. It was great when I first bought it. And then now it just goes.
Crank in this thing. Pull it up and put it in that.
Well, we'll do it later. So I'm going to add a little bit of that pretty color of magenta in here because, you know, Art Deco was pretty, and that's too much, but that's okay. Art Deco was pretty bright. Don't you think, Bethany?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of gold.
Yeah, we're going to add gold into this. Okay, so our next thing, as my daughter foretold, is gold. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever used this Eternal from Prima. If you buy any type of gold, you know, to enhance things, this is the gold you want. It's my very favorite. If
Debbie Cordell said, "Hello, Carolyn."
Hi, Debbie. Okay, so look, I'm just going to work right out of the thing. Can you see how luscious that is? I mean, this stuff it's phenomenal. I use it on just about every piece I ever do. So we're going to bring just some gold little highlights coming through here. And this thing is going to be glitzed out by the time we get done, you guys. It'll be glitzy and glamoury, because that's what Art Deco was. All right. Okay. All right, one more thing, and then we are calling it a night. And then tomorrow night, we will start again. I'm going to come in here to this fuchsia and into my white. And we are going to create and into this pink. They have a beautiful pink color. Let me see the name of it.
Mary said this is going to be amazing.
Dusty Rose. This color is beautiful. The Dusty Rose color is absolutely beautiful. And we're just going to add just some cherry blossoms. And as I double dip, you guys, my paintbrush, I can turn that paintbrush and I can get all different colors all at the same time. And then you're not, you know, it just makes it easier. And if I want to go in and add a color, I can. Like, I really like that magenta in with that pink. Look at the pop of color, that magenta. And I'm just kind of turning my brush and I'm letting that thing do what it wants to do. Sometimes we control our paint so much and think, oh, every little thing has to be exact. Well, it doesn't, because if you're looking at it from a distance, you know, they're just gonna look like, really honestly, clumps of flowers, because you're away from it. You're not, you know, you're painting in the distance. You're painting this that is kind of in the distance, you know. So we're just gonna just turn that and let those blossoms do what they want to do. And then after this dries, then what I'll do is I'll come back in and I'll layer over them. And
I said would love to make cherry blossoms in one of our classes.
Oh, that would be fun, and we probably will, Mary, for sure. Okay. Let's add some of this pink in here. And you can just see, you guys, it's not a controlled effort here. They're just here. It's just kind of how cherry blossoms are. You normally don't see unless you're up close. And see, now there's going to be a trim that goes on this, so you can kind of see how things are going to be. Let that kind of go up there. I remember when I was trying to paint flowers, and I would try to just do, you know, just everything perfect. And then one day I started just messing around, just going, and you know what? They turned out beautiful, and I was like, wow, that's kind of fun. And so, you know, I try to be easy and free with my painting. I don't try to control it too much. And like I said, as these dry, I'll come in and keep working with them, adding highlights, you know. And so there you've got just quick little cherry blossoms. And so you guys, share this video on your page, share it around, and let's get the word out. And tomorrow night, this will look a lot different than it does today. I wish I could paint from start to finish, but we'd be here a while, at 1 hour at a time. So, but we're gonna be done when we get done, right? Because I gotta say I love it before I let it be done. So you guys have a blessed night, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow night. Same channel, same time, and we're gonna be right back here on the Prima Redesign. Oh, Bethany, come over and say hi.
Okay.
So you guys, this is my daughter that that has put her mama on her knees more times than I can think. She's my cohort, you know, so we do almost everything together, don't we, babe?
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow, I'm thankful she's here, and you guys have a blessed night.
Bye.
And we'll see you tomorrow night, okay? Bye-bye.